In 2013, Google unveiled something that felt like science fiction made real. A tiny computer built into a pair of glasses. They called it Google Glass. It promised to change how we saw the world, literally. But just 2 years later, the dream collapsed. So how did one of Google's most ambitious projects fall apart before it ever took off? Google Glass began inside Google X, the company's secretive moonshot lab, where big, bold experimental ideas were born. The concept was simple but revolutionary: wearable augmented reality. A device that could show you information, directions, or even messages, without ever needing to pull out your phone. Designed like sleek glasses with a small heads-up display above your eye. Voice commands let users take photos, record video, get weather updates, or translate languages. All hands-free. This wasn't just a gadget, it was a new way to live in the digital world. Constantly connected, heads up, and hands-free. Google Glass launched into the world like a rock star. Developers and early adopters, called Glass Explorers, paid $1,500 to get their hands on a pair. Wearing Glass was a statement. You were part of the future. Celebrities wore them on runways and red carpets. Google ran slick videos showing Glass in everyday life, biking, traveling, cooking. But the hype came with a problem. Google never fully explained what Glass was for. It looked amazing, but what need did it solve? Then came the backlash. People quickly realized something terrifying. Anyone wearing Glass could be recording you, anytime, anywhere, without you knowing. Bars and movie theaters started banning the device. Critics labeled users as glass holes, intrusive, arrogant, and creepy. The camera light was subtle and easily missed. In a world already anxious about privacy and surveillance, Google Glass felt more like Big Brother than cutting-edge tech. Beyond the social discomfort, there were serious technical problems. Glass wasn't just controversial, it was unfinished. Battery life barely lasted a few hours. The display was hard to read in sunlight. Voice control often failed in noisy environments. There was no clear app ecosystem. It looked futuristic. But it worked like a prototype, because that's what it was. By 2015, just 2 years after its public launch, Google quietly pulled the plug on Glass for consumers. They didn't even call it a failure. They simply said, "We're moving on." Google never released a true consumer version. Developers abandoned the platform. Public interest vanished. Google Glass didn't fail because people hated the idea of wearable tech. It failed because Google released it too soon, with no clear use, no strong privacy safeguards, and no vision for how society should adapt to it. But here's the twist. Google Glass never truly died. Today, it lives on, not in coffee shops or sidewalks, but in factories and hospitals. Rebranded as Google Glass Enterprise Edition, it's used for hands-free work instructions, live support, and specialized training. Turns out the idea wasn't wrong, just the audience. Google Glass was a bold step into the future, but in tech, timing is everything. Launched too early, and even a brilliant idea can feel strange, scary, or useless. Glass didn't fail because it was ahead of its time. It failed because it forgot to bring us with it. Scene 2, fade out, timecode 00020050000020800, visual. Fade out with ambient music and a soft shot of a dusty glass unit sitting in a drawer. Scene 3, end screen, timecode 00008000002140000, visual end screen. Would you wear Google Glass today? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe for more stories of tech that tried to change the world, but couldn't.